Tragedies happen all the time, and most of us never see them coming, but these people do. Much like in the Final Destination franchise, where people have premonitions of gruesome events moments before they happen. These people we're going to talk about today are blessed, or should I say cursed, with that same gift. Let's start with one of history's most famous disasters, the Titanic. Now this is a really odd account, as not just one but multiple people had premonitions about the fate of this ship, going as far back as 14 years before the ship actually sank. In 1898, an author by the name of Morgan Robertson published a book by the name of Futility. The book's story is that of an ocean liner that was claimed to be unsinkable, doesn't have enough lifeboats, and sinks in the icy cold waters of the North Atlantic. Sounding familiar yet? What was the name of the ship in this book? The Titan. Coincidence?
I think not!
Or did he know something? It's just a coincidence, but it's fun to speculate. Passengers also had a gut feeling about the fate of the ship. Some of these passengers decided to listen to their gut instinct and not board the doomed vessel. Some of these passengers decided to listen to their gut instinct and not board the doomed ship, whereas others accepted their fate. Like Major Archibald Butt. Nice. Who was an aide to US President Taft at the time, had a premonition of impending doom, which he chose to ignore, even going as far as preparing his will prior to the journey, claiming that something bad was going to happen to him on board RMS Titanic. Sadly, he was correct. He sadly lost his life that night, along with over 1,500 people on that ship. Our next event involves the tragedy of the Leonard Skinner plane crash. Is it Leonard Skinner? Oh god, I don't know. The band popular for such hits as Sweet Home Alabama and Freebird. They had a very busy tour schedule all across America. Not wanting to fly commercial or spend countless days in a tour bus, the band decided to rent out its very own twin-prop plane to travel between venues. But months prior to this, the plane that Leonard Skinner ended up using was actually viewed by the band Aerosmith for the same purpose. Luckily for Aerosmith, they decided against it. After an inspection by the band's management and concerns about the pilot's drinking habit. That should be a red flag. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? On October 19th, 1977, sparks and flames erupted from the plane's right engine. After this, several bandmates told the band frontman Robbie Van Zant that if the plane was not replaced, they would not continue with the tour. Van Zant was against this idea as it would mean missing tour dates. You can see where this is going. The lead singer Robbie Van Zant had previously stated that he would not live past the age of 30. Starting to look like he was right. And on that fateful day, as he was seen entering the plane, he was heard telling bandmate Cassie, and I quote, "If your time is up, your time is up." As you can probably guess, he was right. 700 miles into the journey, fuel was seen spewing from the right engine. Yep, the same engine that previously had issues. The engine then stopped, jolting the plane violently. Instead of transferring fuel from the defective engine over to the working one, which ultimately would have saved the plane, the pilots accidentally offloaded all of the remaining fuel, causing the plane to plummet 10,000 feet into the wooded area below, killing lead singer Robbie Van Zant instantly as he hit his head on the bulkhead of the plane. Let's talk about somebody who has had so many premonitions come true that it's made her famous for it. Baba Vanga. You may recognize her picture from numerous articles telling you of her gruesome predictions for the year to come. A lot of times her predictions are false, but sometimes they aren't. 9/11. In 1989, she proclaimed, "Horror. Horror. The American brethren will fall after being attacked by steel birds. The wolves will be howling in a bush, and innocent blood will be gushing." We all know what happened on September 11th, 2001, so I'm not going to go into detail. But people believe that the steel birds refers to the hijacked planes, while the American brethren being the Twin Towers. And note how she says bush, which may be interpreted as a reference to then President George Bush, who would go on to lead the wolves of the American military into the war on terror. Is that one a bit of a stretch? Or did she genuinely see that event happen? Let me know down there. Not only the September 11th attacks, but she is also thought to have predicted the 2022 droughts and floods, with the UK having its driest July since 1935, officially being declared as a drought on August 12, 2022, and with France, Italy and Portugal seeing similar problems. Allegedly, she also predicted the death of Princess Diana. She She has made so many predictions that it kind of just seems like a case of throwing them at the wall and seeing what sticks. That was a joke. Please don't curse me. Now for the Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. In 1993, an episode of The Simpsons, airing as the 10th episode of the 5th season, two performers parodying real-life performers Siegfried and Roy, a duo famous for their Las Vegas performances involving white lions and tigers, you can see where this one's going, are portrayed being attacked by the very tiger in which they perform with. In 2003, 10 years after the airing of that episode, it came true. On October 3rd, 2003, Roy was attacked by then 7-year-old tiger Manticore. That is the most metal name I've ever seen for a tiger. Whilst holding the microphone to the tiger's mouth, Manticore bit Roy's sleeve. Attempts were made to lure the tiger away with chunks of meat, but eventually the tiger released its grip. But it wasn't over. As Roy retreated, the tiger leapt at him, knocking him clean off of his feet. Manticore then bit into Roy's neck, then dragging him off stage. As if it couldn't get worse during this whole ordeal, Roy was suffering a stroke throughout the entire attack. Yep, you did hear that right. They got the tiger off of him by spraying CO2 from a fire extinguisher on him and placing their index fingers inside his mouth to pry it open. The aftermath of this being Roy severing his spine, resulting in mass blood loss, leaving him with a permanent impairment to his motor skills and verbal abilities. Maybe just don't involve animals in your act. Unless it's the rock cats. Those guys are awesome. Next up, we have Reeva Steenkamp. Chances are you probably know that name already. The South African model who was fatally shot by her Paralympic champion boyfriend, Oscar Pistorius. Pistorius claims that on that night he heard what he believed to be an intruder. He approached the bathroom he was hearing the noise from. After shouting and receiving no response, he fired 4 shots at the door. It's a visual representation in case you didn't know what 4 was. But the person behind the door was his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp. The shots he fired ended up killing her. Well, that's the story he tells anyway. Do you believe it? But Steenkamp may have known that this was going to happen from a very young age. According to her parents, when Reeva was just a teenager, she drew a picture depicting an angel standing near a stairway leading to heaven. But in the distance, you can see a man with a gun in his hand. Her parents claim this was a premonition of her own demise. What do you think? Although the guy in that picture does quite clearly have legs, so... We're going to end this off with one of the world's most famous cases, the murder of Sharon Tate. Sharon was an up-and-coming actress already appearing in multiple TV shows and movies, such as Valley of the Dolls and Eye of the Devil. Just a heads up, I'm going to talk about some pretty graphic stuff in a moment, so if you don't like that, this is your warning. In 1966, Sharon Tate could not shake off a feeling of foreboding. In an attempt to wake up feeling refreshed, she went to sleep, obviously. She was awoken by a man entering her room, a man she recognized as Paul Byrne, the former owner of the house that she was in, who had committed years earlier. Understandably shocked and scared, Tate ran downstairs, where she was met by the sight of another person at the bottom of her stairs with her throat ooh, spooky. Shaken by what she had just seen, she poured herself a drink. I am assuming something strong and alcoholic after seeing that. Heading back upstairs and once again hallucinating Byrne and the victim she saw at the bottom of her stairs. As the next few years went by, she convinced herself that the victim at the bottom of the stairs was her. Once again, it looks like somebody was trying to warn her of what was to come. On the night of August 8th, 1969, followers of the cult leader Charles Manson, otherwise known as the Manson family, broke into Sharon Tate's residence and proceeded to brutally murder the 8-month pregnant actress, her multiple times in the house that was placed just down the road from where she originally had her hallucinations or premonition. But that brings us to the end of the video, so let me know in the comment section down below, have you or anyone you know had a premonition that actually ended up happening? As always, thank you so much for watching. I've been harrisonay and I will see you when I see you.